Hey everyone, it's Megamon here, and welcome to a new segment on this channel, which is basically, what a lot of people do, is just game impressions, but I might be doing this more frequently since there's a lot of games are being released right now, and I like buying games, so I tend to have a lot of impressions, a lot more, because I end up buying more games than I actually complete. Today, I am going to be talking about Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. So some of you guys may already know, I am a huge fan of the Persona series. I've been playing Persona 3 since, I think it was 8th grade when I actually started playing it, and then I bought like all the games. I love Persona so much. And so, eventually, I found out that there was a fighting game, Persona 4 Arena, and I actually saw this in passing a couple of times, but I never actually bought the game. So, I finally ended up getting it. And it was an absolutely fantastic experience. He's a very competent fighter, and I enjoyed every second of it. Well, almost every second. The fact that online play was really difficult for me wasn't that good. But I didn't have as much experience with it, and I wasn't trying to go any type of pro with it or try to play super competently. I just wanted the story. But then I started working on my review for it, and yes, I am going to get a review out eventually. It's just that I've been busy recording other things. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax is the game where I'm gonna probably get really serious. Because it's so fun. It's so fun, and they've added so many things, and it's balanced the combat very well. The story is amazing, and actually, let's get on to that first before I discuss anything else. The story so far, I've only gotten through 66% of the Persona 4 side of the story. And it's really good. All the dialogue is super great. Interactions are really, really good. The fights don't seem as forced as before, and everyone's in character. So far the story is extremely well put together. I love the new villain, and I love Adachi. Like, we never got to see much of him in the original Persona 4, because he was just relegated to villain, and then he just sort of left. But now we actually get to see him, like, be himself a lot more, and even though you had more time with him in Golden, it just didn't show this raw apathy of evil, and it's so awesome. I don't know, I really like all the lines he says. His voice actor, Johnny Longbosh, does also a fantastic job doing his voice as well. Sho is insane, and I like that. And they do it really well. I never get bored of him, and he's very entertaining. Besides that, there is also something else I should probably discuss in the story segment, is that the voice acting isn't exactly on par. Most of the characters are the same, and they sound perfectly fine, but I don't know why, but all the blue Velvet Room members sound weird. And I know two of them have different voice actors now. For those not in the know, Igor's voice actor in Japan passed away. And so, I guess they did that out of respect for the American release. The new voice actor is not as good as the old one. And to me, that is very important, because Igor is, although his voice acting was never amazing, I don't think it was ever supposed to be, his voice never tickled my fancy, but it was such a good staple of the series, and I just imagined him sounding like that in the other games. It's really weird seeing that change. Margaret also got a new voice actor, and she just doesn't sound as good. I mean, you can tell it's her first time really doing Margaret, and she didn't have a whole lot of working room, but the original voice actor was so much better. There's so much more subtlety in the acting, the way that she portrayed her. It's like she was subtly seducing you without even intending to, and I thought that was really neat. Elizabeth is the same voice actor, but she doesn't have the same inflections, I guess I would say. I don't know, there's something that's slightly different, and it doesn't bother me too much, it just sounds different, and I'm not exactly sure why. Sorry, I think I got off of subject. I went to Elizabeth before fully discussing Margaret, but Margaret should be okay. I just need to get used to her, because I don't know, her voice was just so much better, and I don't know why they would replace these voice actors. I know Igor's died in Japan, but I don't think anything happened with Margaret's voice actor. So, I'm not exactly sure. If anyone is knowledgeable of that, please inform me, because I would really like to know. The story side, the gameplay is really what you're here for in terms of fighting. Well, actually, since it's Persona, of course you're here for the story. But the fighting gameplay you're probably going to do that from time to time, and it is greatly improved. They have a couple new moves for every character, and they have a new balancing system. I think some characters are slightly slower because all the fast characters really did take up the high tiers. And some of the Persona counters, some of them increased and some of them decreased based on certain factors. I'm not exactly sure. Like Chie's Persona, I think, is either 2 or 3 Persona cards opposed to 4. Like everyone has the gauge where you basically, for the Persona break, you have characters break the Persona. Some characters have less of that or more of that, and I think that's reasonable. I think like Labrys Shadow has 6 Persona break meter things. I'm not exactly sure what they call them. I guess we'll call them Persona cards? I guess. But she has 6 of those, and that's totally understandable. Her Persona is on the field pretty much all the time. Some characters I don't exactly get. Akihiko doesn't have a whole lot of Persona uses, and his Persona hasn't been all that useful, so I guess that's just to incentivize having and using his regular attacks. But I guess that's okay. I guess that's alright. The thing that I actually dislike about the new balancing is that some of the characters just don't feel the same, and some of the added moves also bother me. Because once you add a couple moves in there, I want more. Because I know these Persona users can use a lot more moves than what we're given. Like Mitsuru, I expected a lot more moves from her because her combo list is already as short as it is. I mean, granted, she's extremely high tier. Have you seen those Evo fights? Oh my god, those were amazing. But she is extremely high tier, and you can do some real serious shit with that, with just those moves. But I wish there was still just a tiny bit more. I mean, I guess I'm being kind of greedy, but in a fighting game sense, and especially for a Persona series where they have superpowers and stuff, I prefer if you had a more diverse moveset. Not up to the point where you have to memorize lists and lists like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat just to figure out, you know, basic movements. No, I'm just talking about because the movements are pretty simple. Everything's a quarter circle, and I'm fine with that. But, like, what about some half circle moves? Why not? Because I think that would be a lot better in terms of gameplay. But besides that, the gameplay is really good. I like the added moves, and I feel like Yu Narukami got a little bit better, even though he's already pretty good to begin with. He is not my exact main. Naoto Shirogane is my main, although I might be trying to do Toro Odachi because I just really like him in this game. Ken also is really good. I should probably talk about Ken. I don't know why. Disclaimer, I am a straight male, and so just don't take this the wrong way. But he got so hot. What happened? Like, what happened to him? He was like, just in a couple years, he just went from a runt to like, fuck. Puberty done right, ladies and gentlemen. But he is actually, I really do like playing as him, and he was an interesting character. I like his voice. I think his voice actor returned, and he sounds fantastic. I like his art design. I like what they did with him. Very interesting. And all the Persona, like Junpei coming back and him being a sports player, I wasn't too sure on that. But you know what? After thinking about it, I guess that would be the most reasonable thing for him to do. I just can't imagine him running. Like, could you imagine him, like, actually doing exercise? I don't know. I could never imagine him doing that. Yukari being Pink Featherman and being a model, yeah, I thought that made sense. It's just that when I first saw her in that, after some leaks, quote-unquote, of the Persona 4 Arena stuff, like Ultimax stuff in the arcades, I'm like, wait, what? Don't understand. But now I do. That's totally reasonable. I think they just did that because it looks funny, or to, you know, have some kind of costume system. Which actually I'm surprised they didn't add in a costume system from the Persona 4 Golden game, because I really wish they actually did do that, because I thought that was pretty interesting. Although I guess doing that much sprite work would probably kill them, because already adding in like Marie, Margaret, Torodachi, Junpei, Yukari, Ken, plus with Konomaru. So that's like 7 sprites. New sprites. That's like 7 sprites. They already have to edit new ones, and plus the extra moves. So I guess it's kind of reasonable. Which, by the way, the sprite work is absolutely fantastic. But besides that, still talking about the characters. That's what I'm talking about, right? Oh well. I'm gonna move on to graphics. I don't really have a structure to, again, I'm loosely making the structure just so there's a little bit more sense to it, to me, during editing. Graphically, it's about the same. I kind of wish they pushed it to 1080p, just for the sake of doing it, because since fighting games aren't all that demanding in the first place, you know, it'd be nice to have it just in 1080p just for the sake of having it. I guess making sprites like that, again, would be more effort than it should be. But oh well, I mean, it's fine because my PS3 is currently hooked up using the composite cables, which can reach 1080p, but it's a little fuzzy. But that's because I've been recording with it and stuff. But, you know, 720p is fine. I just want it to be 1080. I'm not a graphics, I guess I am, but it's just, I don't understand why it isn't. I never understood why it wasn't in the first place. I guess there's a lot going in the backgrounds, but even the backgrounds aren't all that high res, but they do look good. Like, the artistic style in this game is really good. One thing I noticed is that it's kind of combining Persona 3, 4, and 5 colors. Blues, yellows, and reds. You know, the three. Oh my god, I can't believe I just realized that. It's the 3 primary colors, guys. Oh god, this is gonna be great. No, but they mixed in those colors, and you know, there's a lot more greens and stuff from Tartarus, and I found it very interesting. The color palette was very interesting. Found having and there's, you know, there's also more of a unique art style to the entire place, and I like it. I like it a lot. Although I guess, and it's just slightly weird, I guess, to see these backgrounds, because it just looks more abnormal than it originally was. Something good they did do in the game, and I'm going to moving on just to, I guess, just semantics until I stop thinking of things to say. So, the DLC I noticed was interesting. It was very interesting to see the DLC, because you can buy the entire Persona story, the Persona 4 Arena story. Like, you can buy the entire one. How? Like, why would you do this? You've totally made the last game obsolete. I can just transfer the story over with the new game. Well, I guess it's not the new gameplay mechanics, but for like $10, you can play the entire Persona 4 Arena story. That's great. That's fantastic. Atlas, keep doing this. You guys are great. Also, another note on DLC, you can transfer your Persona 4 Arena DLC costume packs into this one. Not just that, during the first week, they have Tomodachi and Marie free on the PlayStation Store. Atlas, you're doing all the things great. Unfortunately, I wish they were just free in general if you pre-ordered or something, but I guess, you know, money. But that's great. I love that fact. Atlas, keep doing that. You're the one. You're like, I mean, I would have supported you by buying all the DLC anyways, because I love Atlas. Atlas now has money because Sega bought him. But yay! You know, I also found it interesting that they're gonna have more DLC story packs, and I wonder, like, they're gonna have a Tomodachi story pack, and it's on their website. And I wonder what that's gonna be like. I don't know how that's gonna be, but that seems odd for them to do that. But also, with other things they're doing, right? The limited edition pack, I didn't even know what I was getting with the limited edition pack originally. I thought that was a site exclusive thing, so when it came in the mail, the packaging was actually kind of battered, but I don't really blame it on Atlas. Okay, I can, because it's not in a very sturdy box, but they give you a Teddy Bop bag, and they give you tarot cards, which are absolutely amazing. I love these things. I can cosplay with them. Fantastic. And I'm going to be getting more with the Persona Q once I get the game, because I really, really want Persona Q. Oh my god, there's so many hours, because I need to tide myself over until Persona 5, which I need to buy a PS4 for. Yeah, I'm insane. Man. I guess it's about it. So, overall, I think Persona 4 Arena Ultimax is fantastic. You should go buy it if you're a Persona fan. If you're not a Persona 4... if you're not a Persona fan, then be a Persona fan, or even if you're a fighting game fan, play it, and, you know, get caught up with the Persona 4 story just so you know what's happening, and because it's a fantastic game. And I think if you like this, you'll definitely like the rest of the Persona series, even if you're not an RPG person. If you like the characters and you like the story, go and get the games. But hopefully this was an okay impression. This is my first time kind of doing this, and I've been talking for 16 minutes straight. Maybe not to you guys, but maybe not to you guys, but I have been talking for 16 minutes straight, and I'm kind of tired. So, it might not be the same time for you guys, but I've been talking for 16 minutes straight around, you know, in a very excited voice. And so, you know, hopefully I can give this energy up for other things like anime talk, because this is what I'm going to be doing from now on. But anyways, guys, I guess I'll see you guys later.